What's up, guys? We're going to try to do this in one take. So I've got a whole bunch of gear here for some unboxing. These are some kind of last minute products, gear items for the Cut 112, which kicks off next Friday at 8 a.m. So I just want to walk you through some of the things that I have from sort of a last minute gear standpoint. And yeah, gonna go out on a run per usual. It's a little rainy, which has pretty much been the norm for the past ever. But let's get started. None of this is sponsored. Bought all this with my own money. Sponsorships would be cool, but yeah, I feel like there's a disclaimer there that I need to make. I bought all this with my own money. A lot of it was on sale, actually. Starting with, I think the thing I'm most excited for, not necessarily because of the product, but because of the deal I got with it. So being a physical therapist, our governing body organization, the APTA, the American Physical Therapy Association, has different partnerships with different brands to provide us with pretty steep discounts. And one of the partnerships is actually with Saucony. And so the deal is, as an APTA member, I get 40% off new shoes, and I can get up to 3 pairs in a year. This is the first time I've ever used the code. It's supposed to be full price items, but I was able to use it on a pair of shoes that were on sale. So kind of cheated the system a little bit, ended up being close to about 60% off. But these are the Saucony Exodus Ultra 3s. Kind of a neutral gray with some green colorway in here. I'm actually really excited for these. My current sort of workhorse trainer right now is the older model, the Saucony Exodus Ultra 2s, which I initially wasn't a huge fan on because they were pretty stiff fresh out of the box and took longer than shoes normally do for me to feel like they were broken in and fitting the way that I like. But since that period, it was about 100 miles. They've been, like I said, my go-to workhorse trainer, kind of a daily runner. So excited for these ones. Newer model, a couple little updates, colorway updates. So I'm actually going to wear these for today's run. I'm a size 12, so we'll see how these fit in comparison to the other ones. Usually model to model year, there's a little bit of tweaking, so sometimes the fit can vary a little bit, but yeah, new kicks. Always love new kicks. These will hopefully be worn during the Cut 112, but I'm gonna wear these for I'm gonna alternate between these and the Ultras that I got, that I showed you guys, and probably bring those both with me for the Cut 112. Purchase number 1. Purchase number 2 is, should have had a knife with me, and I thought about packing a knife for this. Damn. So much for one take. Shit. I'll be back.
A few moments later.
So, where were we? Unboxing. I figured it would be funny to use the most obnoxious knife I could find. I don't know why, but so I grabbed the most obnoxious knife that we have. It's this like giant meat cleaver that is like so excessive, but here we are. This product is one I was on the fence about ordering because it's something I've never used before. A lot of other people have. Just the label, yeah. Come somewhat recommended. So this is going to take a little bit of practice using them, and I will probably have them with me on today's run. But they are trekking poles. So these are from Black Diamond Trailback Trail Series trekking poles. So they're, collapsible. I gotta mess around with the mechanism behind how they break down, but mostly for like technical downhill, a little bit of assistance going uphill, but really more so for later in the event, some technical downhill, just to give a little bit of added stability as I'm running. So I'm gonna trial these out over the next few runs, leading into Cut 112, and figure out how the best way to use these will be. Yeah. So tune in for these, and I will let you know what I think, what I like. I'm probably admittedly gonna hate them, but hey, I could change my opinion on them. Like I said, no exposure to using these. I barely use poles for skiing, so this will be interesting to run with poles. What you're hearing in the background there is our pet duck. And there's more to that story. But there's also more products. So let me open the product first, and then I'll give you a little bit more of a backstory on our new pet here. Another REI purchase here. This one was, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of an impulse purchase. But my thought process was, we're gonna be in the woods, anywhere between 4 and 10 miles away from people. If it's a hot day, I might go through water very quickly. So this is sort of like a safety CYA purchase. Life straw. So basically this is a water filter straw system. Removes 99.9999999% of all sorts of stuff. It's fairly small. Pull this out here. That'll easily fit into the pack. It's got this little carrying case. Drop that in. Boom. Doesn't really shake around, which is nice. But when you're ready to use it, you plop this into whatever it is that you're drinking, preferably into a container that you filled from a clear flowing stream, and it will filter out any contaminants, microorganisms, anything like that. So I will throw this in the pack for today's run as well, to just to run with and get used to running with the weight. Again, not a necessity, but I figured just kind of a CYA, just in case. downing some electrolytes and some collagen there. Pre-run to load that into the system. And last but not least, final product, G1M, lemon lime. Wish I changed this to orange, because orange is jamming. That's where it's at. Yeah, powdered hydration and nutrition for one of my soft flasks throughout the event. 20 grams of carbohydrate, 350 milligrams of sodium. Mixes well, tastes pretty good. Can't go wrong. So the story on the duck. Casey last week was driving home, she was driving to work and got like 2 minutes down the road from our house and saw the little baby duckling in the middle of the road. So she slammed on the brakes, got out of the truck. This little duckling came running right over to her. She's a big softie for animals, which you see a baby duckling running at you, I don't care who you are, you're going to pick it up and care for it. So she looks around. She didn't see any other baby ducklings. She didn't see a mama or daddy duck. It was totally by itself, just looking for someone to care for it. And so she picked it up. She brought it home. Because of the chicks, we have, some gear, feeding, water, that sort of stuff. We have the basin. I'll show you guys that in a second. The brooder, the heat lamp, all the stuff. So she brought it home, got it set up, and she has been in contact with Tractor Supply pretty much every day, asking about when they're getting a shipment of new baby ducks, because it is by itself. Nobody wants to be by themselves, and so she is trying to get more baby ducks so it has some buddies. So yeah, we have a baby duck now. Let me show you the baby duck. Look how cute that thing is. Let me pick him up. Look at that. We don't have a name for it yet. Isn't it cute? Little buddy. He's so small. All right. Little buddy, I gotta get a run in, but I will be back to hang out with you. So that's the duck. That's the new gear. I'm gonna run with some of it. Give you guys my impression on some of the new gear. And then, yeah, we'll film some other content, but that's the final unboxing leading into the race. Really not a race, the event, Cut 112. Starting to rain a little bit heavier, so I'm going to wrap things up here, and I will head out for this run with some of this new gear, trial it out. I will catch you guys after. Give you a rundown on how that all went. See you guys in a little bit. What's up, fam? We are driving over to the farm to log some miles. We are about 9 days out from the Cut 112 2025 edition. And the taper has begun this week. Originally, I was going to push forward for another week, but decided against it. So taper started this week. So I will probably log about 30 miles or so, I think, this week, which is a 50% step down from the week prior. Next week, I will probably run somewhere between 10 and 20. And then the cut is on Friday. And Friday into Saturday, I hope I don't go into Sunday, but it will be 112 miles. So that'll be fun. That'll be a big week. Biggest one I've ever had. A little bit of rain at the moment. So trail shouldn't be too wet yet. It's been fairly dry since Saturday. But we're going to first drop off some lumber for the newest garden beds. And then we will take Waylon out for a run. I've got some new kicks that I'm trying out. I got some new gear that I'm trying out. Like I talked about in the unboxing. Some trekking poles and some new shoes. So we'll see how those function today. Never run with poles before. I don't know how I feel about them. I was real hesitant on it, but I'm chalking it up as a have it if I want them or need them, but don't necessarily plan on using them. But I figure might as well practice with them so that if I do need them, I know what the hell I'm doing with them. So we're rolling into the farm right now. Let me unload this wood. And we'll get going on this run. Because I want to get back home so that I can hang out with the little baby duck until Casey gets home from her awards night. She's a member of the Chamber of Commerce here in town. And so they have like a high school senior awards night tonight that she is presenting for. She has no idea how long she will be there for. It starts at 6. She's got to be there now, which she is. And it could potentially go until 9, at least according to our calendar. So that's fun. Hopefully for her sake, she is out sooner rather than later. But let me unload this wood. Get going on this run. Log some miles. 7 miles today. 7.2. 2 loops. And then we'll be golden. See you guys in a bit. All right. Run done. I cut the run in half. I'm gonna level with you guys. I feel real guilty about leaving the baby duckling home alone because it is bugging out being in there by itself. I felt so bad leaving it there. So I only did 1 loop. I was supposed to do 2, wanted to do 2. Probably should have done 3. My mind is saying 3, my legs want 3. But I did 1. Freaking lost Waylon. He ran off into the woods about a mile ago. And it's sort of a 50-50 shot on whether he pops back out and responds to his e-collar, or if he's just a jerk and stays off into the woods. So I'm driving down now to look for him. Naturally, this always happens in the spot on the farm that has the worst service. And so his GPS collar never kicks in. You never have any idea where he is. He's probably already down this way, but it's saying he's still all the way. It's saying he's way back beyond where I lost him. I didn't lose him, actually. He ran off. He's being a jerk. So I'm grabbing him once I can find him. And we're heading back home to hang out with the baby duckling. Because I'm a sap. Plus, like, let's be honest, who doesn't want to hang out with a little baby duckling? You saw it. That thing's cute as hell. I'm going to be pretty annoyed if I get home the same time Casey gets home. Or she beats me home. It is what it is. Anywho, first impressions of the trekking poles and the new shoes. New shoes, thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. I actually really enjoyed them. They felt much more comfortable fresh out of the box than the prior models did, the Exodus Ultra 2s. These felt much more responsive. They didn't feel... The other ones just felt like cement almost. Like they just felt so stiff in a negative way. Like not in a fast, responsive feeling where you almost got some pop off the ground. That took about, like I said, like probably 75 to 100 miles or so before I got that feeling. And then I loved them. These I love right out of the box. So I'm very happy with that. What I'm nervous about is that this is how I felt with the Peregrines that I also bought with those Exodus Ultra 2s. And then those sort of flat tired on me, and now I'm not big on them for like longer than 10 miles. But that's a shoe. First impression, 3.6 miles in, love them. The poles, on the other hand, absolutely hate them. Hate. Hate's a strong word. Really dislike them. They feel clunky. They feel awkward. I don't really know how to like rhythmically use them. If that's like a fair statement. I will say their one positive is that they felt very helpful going uphill. So on those steeper sections that I'm kind of power hiking, I felt stronger going uphill than if I didn't have them. But other than that, didn't like them. I gotta find a good spot to put them in my pack, because there's not a real great spot for them that I've found so far. The one spot I thought they would do fine in, my arms hit them when I run, and so it feels like it messes with my stride. I don't really want to put them in that big pouch in the back. I gotta kind of mess around with it. But that's the story on the poles. I gotta tweak around with the setup. I ended up just carrying them in my hand for the run because it just felt they did not feel good in the pack. I don't know. It also might just be one of those things that I leave in the car until I need them, and then I just grab them and use them. Because at that point, I'll be going pretty slow. It's amazing how fresh my legs are feeling. Felt plenty of snap, pop in the stride. I mean, that was a 9:16 pace with minimal effort. I think I averaged 129 beats per minute. All my body data has been showing really great recovery, great sleep. Resting heart rate is super, super low. Normally I'm in like when I'm heavy training, it's like upper 40s. Past several nights it's been down in like 43, 44 territory. So, feeling good. Knock on wood, the Achilles has been holding up really well. So, taper is so far going well. Hope that it continues that way. But I'm gonna find this dog, head back home, hang out with the baby duck. I'll see you guys back at the house. Well, my first attempt at this, for some reason the camera was flipped the other way, so I was just filming the blanket, but didn't make an outro. Classic. So here we are, Friday morning. It's a little after 5:30. Drinking our coffee. Getting ready to go out for our morning run. Feed the animals. But I wanted to make it a little more formal of a closeout rather than just awkwardly stopping the video. So this is me stopping the video with a proper outro. Waylon wants to make an appearance. He heard the word run, and he's getting very excited now. Heading up to New Hampshire for the weekend later today. Jesus. Where I'll be taking a continuing ed course on vestibular and concussion management, which will be part of next video. But this guy's getting antsy. I'm almost done with my coffee, so I'm going to wrap things up here, and I will see you guys in the next video. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.